Welcome, esteemed viewers, to a dark journey pulling back the dusty veils of medieval history. For centuries, the shadow of the Inquisition evoked terrifying images of burning stakes. Millions supposedly perished in agony, victims of a merciless church machine of total terror. But when the Vatican unsealed its secret archives in 1998, reality shattered the dark myth. Prepare to witness the statistical truth behind the body count and the tragic trial of a miller. To understand this terror, we must descend into the damp labyrinth of the European collective memory. For generations, popular culture painted the Grand Inquisitor as a monstrous fanatic in dark robes. Historical novels and grim cinematic depictions solidified an image of absolute theological tyranny. Every dungeon corner supposedly hid mechanical horrors designed to break human flesh and crush bones. The Iron Maiden, the stretch rack, and burning pincers became permanent symbols of this religious age. According to popular historical lore, anyone speaking against the Church faced brutal annihilation. Protestant printing presses in England and the Netherlands broadcasted these tales of horror. This vast political propaganda campaign came to be known by modern scholars as the Black Legend. It painted Catholic Spain and Rome as bloodthirsty empires drowning the continent in execution fires. Every political conflict was exaggerated, turning localized legal trials into sweeping tales of mass murder. Artworks depicted massive public executions, known as auto da fe, where hundreds burned simultaneously. Dread spread across cities, as the mere mention of the Holy Office caused families to whisper in fear. The collective memory consolidated a terrifying narrative, a body count reaching into millions of victims. Science, philosophy, and basic human curiosity were believed to be completely suffocated by dogma. Yet, did this universal nightmare of relentless torture perfectly align with actual administrative reality? Behind the heavy oak doors, the judges kept immaculate, microscopic records of every proceeding. Every question asked, every scream uttered, and every piece of evidence was systematically written down. These legal ledgers were locked away, hidden from public eyes for centuries within guarded vaults. They formed an ocean of ink, holding the precise secrets of thousands of forgotten human destinies. The truth remained buried under dust, waiting for a historical earthquake to shatter the old myths. That long-awaited historical earthquake finally arrived in the chilly January of 1998. Pope John Paul II made a monumental decision that stunned historians across the globe. He ordered the permanent unsealing of the secret archives belonging to the Holy Office. For the first time in history, secular researchers walked past the heavily guarded gates of Vatican. They entered a silent labyrinth filled with towering shelves containing centuries of judicial secrets. Thousands of thick leather volumes, untouched for generations, felt the touch of archival gloves. An international team of quantitative historians began the monumental task of analyzing records. They expected to find chaotic records of brutal butchery and unchecked fanatical violence. Instead, investigators discovered an incredibly advanced, meticulously organized bureaucratic machine. The Inquisition functioned less like wild fanatics and more like a modern intelligence agency. Every suspect had a dedicated legal file containing testimonies, defense arguments, and judge cross-checks. The precision of the documentation was unprecedented, revealing a strict adherence to law. As massive amounts of data were entered into modern databases, a startling pattern emerged. The astronomical numbers popularized by centuries of political propaganda started to collapse rapidly. Vatican documents showed that the vast majority of accusations never progressed to a formal trial. Anonymous denunciations were systematically thrown out, as law strictly required identified witnesses. The researchers realized that the grim folklore of the Dark Ages was built on myths. But how did this legalistic institution handle the actual execution of its spiritual power? To uncover the true mechanics of their judgment, historians had to look back at early campaigns. The span of time shifts back to the bloody roots of the institution in the 13th century. The Holy Office was born out of intense crisis during the Albigensian Crusade in southern France. The growth of the Cathar movement threatened the structural hierarchy and spiritual monopoly of Rome. To root out this deep heresy, Pope Gregory IX appointed dedicated, trained Dominican judges. These specialized heretic hunters operated under strict legal handbooks, creating systematic inquiry. Later, in 1486, the infamous manual named Malleus Maleficarum was published. This text, known as the Hammer of Witches, detailed precise methods for identifying heretics. Yet, official archives prove that the Roman Inquisition rejected this manual for being too extreme. Inquisition law restricted the use of physical torture to a maximum of a single brief session. A medical doctor was legally required to be present to ensure no permanent damage occurred. If you stood before these calculating judges, would you abandon your beliefs to save your own life? Statistical data compiled by scholars revealed that torture was used in less than 2% of cases. Furthermore, the penalty of death by burning was reserved strictly for unrepentant, repeating heretics. In the famous trials of the Knights Templar, starting in 1307, politics interceded. King Philip IV of France desperately coveted the immense wealth accumulated by the elite order. He pressured the weak Pope Clement V to arrest the knights on fabricated charges of heresy, while royal secular courts used horrific unchecked torture to force confessions from knights. The formal papal courts frequently threw out confessions that were obtained through illegal brutality. Many medieval criminals intentionally committed minor heresies just to be sent to church prisons. They knew church jails offered far better food, cleaner conditions, and legal defense lawyers. The true historical body count was drastically lower than millions claimed by Protestant legends. However, this advanced bureaucratic system remained a cold, inescapable crusher of human free thought. To understand its quiet, systematic ruthlessness, we must look at the forgotten story of Menocchio. Born Domenico Scandella, he was a humble, literate miller living in the northern hills of Italy. While grinding grain beneath his heavy watermill, Menocchio devoured every book he could find. He read forbidden translations of the Quran, historical chronicles, and philosophical texts. Isolated in his rural village, his independent mind formulated a unique view of creation. In 1584, a local priest reported Menocchio to the Holy Office for blasphemous speech. He was arrested and brought before the stern, unyielding tribunal hall of the province of Udine. Instead of hiding his radical ideas out of fear, the miller spoke with passionate honesty. is a system that executes a man for his thoughts ever justified in the eyes of history. Menocchio boldly told the judges that in the beginning, the universe was a chaotic mass of matter. He explained that this cosmic mass formed just like cheese forms from milk, developing thick mold. From this cosmic cheese, God and the holy angels spontaneously emerged, just like worms in food. He argued that all religions were equal, and that loving your neighbor was greater than any dogma. The chief inquisitor was astonished by this bizarre, homegrown philosophy from a common peasant. Following strict papal law, the court did not immediately condemn the eccentric Miller to death. They spent years cross-examining him, trying to make him recant his dangerous cosmic cheese heresy. Menocchio was eventually released on parole, ordered to wear a heretic cross on his clothes. But his untamable spirit refused to be silenced by the psychological pressure of the Holy Office. He continued to preach his unique philosophy, forcing a second arrest in 1599. Under strict rules of counter-reformation, a repeating heretic could no longer be shown mercy. In late 1599, Menocchio was bound to a wooden stake and reduced to ash by flames. The true body count reveals a system obsessed with bureaucratic law rather than mindless slaughter. Was the Holy Office a merciful legal shield or a cold, calculated crusher of human free thought? Share your thoughts below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more profound historical reveals.